Julian stared, his perfectly rehearsed groom's smile frozen on his face. The woman before him wore Vivian's face, but her eyes were chilling voids. The shredded wedding dress, once a symbol of purity, was now a declaration of war, clinging to her curves like a second skin made of shadows.
Vivian, what is this madness?
He hissed, his voice a low whisper.
What have you done to your dress? We're due at the altar in 30 minutes.
Vivian's lips curved into a smile that held no warmth, only the sharp, glittering edge of shattered glass.
A change of plans, Julian.
A change of?
He took a step forward, his hand reaching for her. She sidestepped him with the fluid grace of a predator. His touch felt like a ghost's, a memory of a past life she had already burned to ash.
I need to step out for a moment.
She said, her voice smooth as silk, yet laced with steel.
A final wedding gift has arrived. For you.
Greed flickered in Julian's eyes, momentarily overriding his confusion. A gift? He had bled her family dry, but he always wanted more.
From who?
A very powerful investor.
She purred, walking toward the door.
Someone who values loyalty. I wouldn't want to keep him waiting. It would be bad for our future business, don't you think?
He faltered. The mention of a powerful investor, of more money, was his ultimate weakness. He swallowed his anger, forcing a placating smile.
Of course, darling. But be quick. Everyone is waiting.
Oh, I know.
Vivian said, her hand on the doorknob. She paused and looked back at him, her eyes promising a reckoning.
They're about to get a show they'll never forget. This will be a day of karma.
She didn't wait for a reply. She slipped out of the suite, closing the door on her past life with a soft, final click. The hallway was a blur of cream and gold. Her heels clicked against the marble floor, a steady, rhythmic beat, like a war drum. She ignored the startled looks from hotel staff, her focus singular, absolute. Her phone was still in her hand. The text message from Alexander King burned into her memory. Top floor, suite 1. The private elevator required a special keycard, but Vivian had learned all the hotel's secrets in her past life, preparing for this very wedding.
A quick word with a flustered concierge, a flash of her bridal status, and a cold, commanding tone got her the access she needed. This rebirth didn't just give her knowledge, it gave her an aura of untouchable authority. The elevator ascended in unnerving silence. With every floor she passed, she shed another layer of the weak, naive girl she used to be. By the time the doors opened onto the penthouse level, only the Avenger remained. Suite 1. The door was heavy, dark oak. No guards were visible, but she could feel their presence, unseen but lethal. She didn't knock. Her hand reached for the handle and turned. It was unlocked. He was expecting her. She stepped inside, and the world shifted. The suite was vast, a palace in the sky, with floor-to-ceiling windows revealing a panoramic view of the city she was about to conquer.
But Vivian's eyes were not on the view. They were on the man standing by the window, his back to her. Alexander King, the city's apex predator, a ruthless billionaire alpha whose name was only ever spoken in whispers of fear and awe. He was dressed in a bespoke black suit that seemed forged from the night itself. When he turned, she felt the temperature in the room plummet. His face was a masterpiece of harsh, beautiful lines. Dark hair, piercing eyes the color of a stormy sea, and a jaw that looked like it was carved from granite. Power radiated from him, not as an affectation, but as a fundamental part of his being. He was the devil, and she had just walked into his throne room. He didn't speak, he just watched her, his gaze intense, possessive. It was the same look he'd given her across crowded rooms in her last life, a secret obsession she had been too blind to see. Now she saw it for what it was, a weapon. Vivian walked toward him, her shredded dress a stark contrast to the opulent perfection of the suite. She moved with a chilling purpose, her eyes never leaving his. She walked past him to the door and locked it, the heavy thud of the bolt echoing in the silence. It was a power play, a statement. You are not in control here. I am. She turned back to him. He hadn't moved, but a flicker of something dark and intrigued danced in his eyes. He was a king in his castle, and a strange, beautiful woman had just locked him inside with her. Without a word, Vivian closed the distance between them. She placed her hands on his chest, hard, unyielding muscle beneath the expensive fabric, and pushed. It wasn't a shove of brute force, but of sheer, unadulterated will. Alexander King, a man who had never been moved by anyone, stumbled back, his surprise evident for a fraction of a second before it was replaced by a dangerous smirk. He fell back onto the plush velvet sofa, looking up at her as she stood over him, a dark angel presiding over her judgment.
Mr. King.
She began, her voice devoid of any emotion except cold, hard resolve.
I have a proposal for you.
His eyes roamed over her, from the fire in her gaze to the defiant tear in her dress.
I'm listening.
He rumbled, his voice a low vibration that seemed to shake the very air.
Marry me, today, now.
The smirk on his lips widened. He was enjoying this.
And why would I do that, Miss White? You're supposed to be marrying another man.
That man is a parasite I intend to destroy.
She stated, the venom in her words pure and undiluted.
I need a partner, an ally, not a husband. I need a king to help me burn an empire to the ground.
He leaned forward slightly, his predator's gaze fixed on hers.
A tempting offer, but alliances are built on mutual benefit. What precisely are you offering me?
This was the moment, the pivot upon which her entire revenge would turn.
I'll give you 50% of the White Fashion Group shares the moment the company is back under my control.
She said, the number hanging in the air like a billion-dollar promise.
And I will give you something far more valuable.
She leaned down, her face just inches from his. He could smell her perfume, a scent of night-blooming jasmine, and something wild, something dangerous. He saw the truth in her eyes. Not love, not passion, but the cold, beautiful glint of killing intent.
I will give you my loyalty.
She whispered.
Absolute and unwavering. I will be your most devoted ally, your sharpest weapon. In return, you will be mine.
Alexander King stared into her soul. He saw the broken girl she had been and the terrifying queen she was becoming through this fiery rebirth. He saw her pain, her rage, and her unbreakable will. And he wanted it. He wanted all of it. This was not the timid girl he had watched from afar. This was a siren calling him to a glorious war.
His obsession had finally been given a purpose. He reached up, his fingers gently tracing the jagged edge of her torn dress. His touch was electric, a brand of possession. A slow, predatory smirk spread across his face.
Deal. Downstairs, the wedding march began to play. Julian stood at the altar, his greedy heart pounding with anticipation. Amelia stood beside him, her earlier fear forgotten, replaced by a triumphant gleam in her eyes. The guests murmured in their seats. Everything was perfect. The priest cleared his throat.
We are gathered here today to witness the union of Julian White and Vivian.
Suddenly, the grand double doors of the hall were thrown open with a deafening bang. It wasn't the bride.
Instead, a phalanx of men in black suits and earpieces marched in, their faces grim and professional. They secured the room in seconds, their presence sucking all the air out of the lavish hall. Julian's face went pale.
What is the meaning of this? Who are you?
A man in a sharper suit stepped forward, his expression colder than a winter tombstone. He looked not at Julian, but at the stunned priest.
There has been a change of plan, the man announced, his voice amplified by the cavernous silence.
The wedding will proceed, but the groom has been replaced by order of my employer.
Julian staggered back as if struck.
Replaced? By who? This is my wedding.
The man ignored him completely, his voice cutting through the chaos like a razor.
Please welcome the new groom, Mr. Alexander King.